Oh, yes. It's that time once again. It's time for another episode of the next show with your boy, Deli Del, Heavy D Midas, Alicio Jones, all the above. Yeah, so on this episode, things of nature to discuss. Very important Raptors Game 7 being played tonight. So hopefully they can pull that one out, and maybe on the next episode we'll be talking about huge victory. I do just want to touch a bit on some of the chatter that's been going around and some of the lack of respect that's being shown to the Raptors in terms of getting this far without the so-called main dog Kawhi Leonard. So you're gonna touch on that a little bit. But mostly, I want this to be about my NFL preview show. Are y'all ready for some football? Because it's back in a big way with the Chiefs opening up. That game already happened if you're watching this. And the Chiefs look like they're rolling, man. Patrick Mahomes doing his thing. Looks like they're going to roll to another division victory. So I'm going to get into who's going to finish where in their respective divisions and what I think is going to happen with my New York Jets for the upcoming season. I'm very excited about my Jets. Very happy. Hopefully they give me something to look forward to and somebody to cheer on and go all the way. So yeah, all that and more. Stay tuned. So yeah, before I get into any of the NFL talk, Raptors big game 7 here coming up, and I just wanted to speak a bit on some of the chatter that's been going around. I mentioned off the top of the show, and some of the lack of respect that's being shown to the Toronto Raptors. I was watching ESPN and I saw Stephen A. come on ESPN once again, running his mouth, and I know he's got a job to do, and he's saying outlandish things like this because he wants it's basically just clickbait, and he wants people to be polarized by what he's trying to say and get a reaction and a rise out of people because this Negro had the nerve to come on ESPN, national television, and say things like, "Oh, I'm stunned that the Raptors are getting to a game 7, and the Celtics allowed the Raptors to get to this point." It's like, nah, son, nah, Negro. One thing you gotta understand, man. I already came on this show with the championship ring and said they have a heart of the champion, and until they're knocked out, you can't say that it's over until they're officially out of the playoffs. Okay, so all this chatter. I just don't want this guy, creating a false narrative for people because the fact of the matter is, until they're knocked out, you can't say it's over. People were saying it's over 2-0 against Milwaukee last year, and look how that worked out. So y'all shouldn't have written them off. The Celtics aren't that great of a team. Like they're a good team, and they were good enough to sweep the 76ers, but Raptors were good enough to sweep the Brooklyn Nets. And some might say that, maybe even with if Kyrie had played, they would have been on that level with the 76ers. So then Lord knows what would have happened if KD played. So Stephen A, stop this nonsense, man. I told you on the last episode that you're just adding fuel to the fire, man. And all this negativity about the Raps and the lack of credit that you give them, man, it's all just bulletin board material, man. And I'm here to advocate on their behalf. I was thinking about this the other day, actually, after I did the last show, that I am to the Raptors what Paul Heyman is to Brock Lesnar. Okay, and you can book that. All right, I am here to say that they're gonna come out in Game 7 and show the heart of a champion and lay it all out. That's why in the last game they went to double overtime, man, because they did what it took to keep the game close, and ultimately they came away with the victory. Something that they have the ability to do in Game 7 as well. So let's not write them off until they're actually out. Stephen A, come on now, stop with his nonsense. All right, just wanted to get that off my chest, guys. All right. Are you ready for some football? NFL is back, and the Chiefs murked it. Chiefs murked it yesterday, so that was pretty nice. That was pretty nice on their part. Got a nice little victory. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna bring up the divisions here and go through them. And let's see if I can bring it up here. So we'll start in the NFC, where we have the NFC East, comprising of the Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, and the Washington football team, formerly the Washington Redskins football team. So, in this one, I mean, the Eagles are going to be healthy and rested. Given all the injuries they had last year and being able to do what they did, the quarterback, Carson Wentz, like, man, it's crazy. You know, he was the MVP of their team last year for sure. If they had a little mini MVP vote with the players, he definitely would have won it, Carson Wentz. So, I mean, I got the Eagles at number one, and the Cowboys could be like 1A. It's usually how it is with this division. What's sometimes referred to as a NFC least. So yeah, I got Eagles at the one, Cowboys 1A or number two, followed by the Giants. They're improving, but they're not quite there yet. And the Washington football team, formerly known as the Redskins, dead last in that division. NFC West. So I mean, this is a great division. I mean, you're talking about Rams, Niners, Seahawks. Those are three great teams right there. Three well-coached teams, three well-schemed teams, and three teams that have proper personnel to get it done. So pick your poison with the Rams, Niners, and Seahawks. I mean, honestly, I mean, I think I would have the Rams at one just because like McVay is an awesome coach and he's going to rebound from the mistakes of last year. The 49ers are not too far behind. I mean, they did make it to the Super Bowl last year, but I think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to take a step back this year. He's going to come down to earth a little bit, and I don't think they're going to finish first in that division. So I got Rams, Niners, Seahawks are going to be very close. They're always going to be in the mix. They're always going to be in the hunt. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're kind of keeping pace with these guys. They might hang back a little bit near the end, but I think that they'll be in the mix. They usually are. So in Cardinals, they're still poo with Kyler Murray. They might improve, maybe get like 5-6 wins, but that's about it. I don't really see them going anywhere. NFC North. In this one, it's very simple. I mean, I know the Bears kind of upgraded their quarterback play with Foles, but we'll see how that works out. I mean, Foles usually magic off the bench. Like if Trubisky got hurt or something, let's say, God forbid, he might be able to pull some magic out there. But as a starter, I'm not so sure about that. So I think the Vikings are probably the most complete team in this division. So I would put them at number one. And then Packers, I think Aaron Rodgers got something to prove. I mean, he's playing to get himself traded out of Green Bay. So he's playing to attract suitors in the trade market. So I think he's going to do well in that role. And I think the Packers can benefit from that. Then I would have the Bears in third, but not too far away in third. You know what I mean? They're still going to be competitive too. I think they're a much better team. The coach there is still a very good coach. And then I got the Lions in fourth. They will be improved, but I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure about that former Patriot coach still coaching there, Matt Patricia. I'm not so sure that he can be. He might be a great X's and O's guy, but can he be a leader of men? That's the question. That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm dying to find out here. So we'll see. The jury might still be out on this guy as a head coach and a leader of men. So got the Lions in dead last, but they'll be competitive. So Vikings win the division ultimately. Packers second, Bears third, very closely behind. I mean that second spot with the Bears and the Packers that could go either way to either one of those guys. In the NFC South, in this one it's going to be freaking amazing because it's going to come down to um, Drew Brees versus Tom Brady, and that's going to be a great battle. and it's going to be something to watch. It's going to be fun, and I think it's something to look forward to. I mean, they've always had kind of a quarterback rivalry from afar, but now it's about to be head to head between the two guys. So it's going to be fun to watch. That is for sure. So because of the Brady factor and all of the free agents he was able to attract there and make the Buccaneers a more complete team, I think I got the Bucs winning the division. I know Breeze and Brady aren't getting any younger, but you know, most people in football circles would probably agree that Brady has been the more efficient and effective quarterback at his position, especially when it comes to generating wins for his team, generating 2-minute drill comebacks, late fourth quarter overtime comebacks, things of that nature. I know I've seen Drew Brees show flashes of clutchness at times, but just hasn't really done it consistently enough in those close games. And I think the Brady factor just puts the Buccaneers over the top. So I got them at number one to win the division. Then the Saints are very close by. The Saints will still be a good team. A lot of people, like I said, they picked the Saints to win the South and the NFC division as a whole. So the Saints will be right in the mix as they usually are. Falcons third. Matt Ryan will be good. I don't know if and Julio, Matt Ryan and Julio Jones will be good. I don't know if anybody else on that team is going to be right there with them. So. You got Falcons at third, and Panthers. Cam left, Ron Rivera left. There's not really too much direction happening there, so they're still rebuilding, and with somebody new up in the head office and or front office coaching staff, and with a new quarterback, it's going to take time to put the systems in place and start to generate wins on a consistent basis. So, with that said, I got Panthers dead last in the NFC South, just because a lot of transition, a lot of moving parts there. So now to the AFC, and we'll start in the AFC South since we left off there in the NFC. In this one, Deshaun Watson, he's still looking pretty good despite that Week 1 loss to the Chiefs there. I mean, very few teams are going to beat the Chiefs with their high-powered offense, and they do have a stout defense. It's not Baltimore Ravens, San Francisco 49ers type of defense, but it's decent, and they will make stops, and it's just only going to allow Mahomes to get back on the field and just do his thing and just methodically destroy teams. So I see a lot of that happening. So with the Texans, though, I still think they're going to get wins over their division opponents just because there's not too much quality there. I think the Titans will come in a close second. Colts in third. They still have a good offensive line, that they were trying to build around for Andrew Luck. But that's about it. I don't really know much else that they have there. And the Jaguars, they got rid of Foles, they got rid of Fournette, traded away the corner Ramsey. I mean, some ownership issues there and some gripes. So it's a lot of work and a lot of rebuilding to do in Jacksonville. So I got them at sitting there number 4 doing poo. So Texans 1, Titans 2, Colts 3, Jags poo at number 4. So now the highly contested AFC North I'm looking at here. Like a lot of people are calling the Steelers. Not necessarily the Ravens and Lamar, because a lot of people were touting Lamar after what he did last year, just tore up the regular season, and everybody was like, "Oh, Lamar," and then just laid an egg in the playoffs when the games actually count towards winning a Super Bowl. So I think the jury's still out on Lamar. For me, I think with the Steelers, you're going to have a healthy Roethlisberger back. Mike Tomlin is still a superior coach and a leader of men. That is 100% sure. And with all the drama and injuries that he was working with last year, and the depth depletion with Bell and AB gone, I mean, wow. The fact that he was able to still manage a winning record last year is just, it just speaks to how amazing of a coach he is. So and since my wife is a big time Steelers fan, I'm gonna pick the Steelers to win the division. I know all you Raven fans are probably gonna come at me. saying, "Oh, of course, a Jets fan would make such a ridiculous pick." But you know, if it turns out to be good in the end, then I'm gonna be the one getting the last laugh, and my wifey too. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in that one. So I'm gonna call the Steelers, but the Ravens will keep it close. They're gonna be right there. Steelers, Ravens second, Browns third. I think Odell Beckham Jr. and Baker Mayfield are going to have a strong season together. They still got weapons. They still got Nick Chubb, and they still got Callaway, I believe it is, on the other side of Odell Beckham Jr. So they still got some weapons there in Cleveland. But Baker Mayfield, it's all on him, man. He has to generate wins for that team. If he doesn't get it going and make the right throws and get touchdowns and put up points, then they're doomed right from the start. Bengals, they got rid of Andy Dalton. A lot of changes there. I think they have AJ Green, but who's going to throw it to him, right? So Bengals are poo. They're not really going anywhere. They're trash last year, and they'll probably be trash again this year. When you're talking about such a competitive AFC North, and they got to play the Ravens, Browns, and Steelers 2 times a year. It's not going to look good for the Bengals whatsoever. All right. AFC West. So this one's going to be highly contested as well. It's going to be the first season that I've been watching football where Philip Rivers is not quarterbacking the Chargers. Actually, with the exception of when Drew Brees was there and he left, and then because they got Philip Rivers. But yeah, I mean, you know, he had a mini little dynasty there. I mean, they didn't win anything at all, but you know, he was still a big part of what they were doing over there in terms of like, you know, trying to win and having like decent regular seasons and whatnot. But yeah, it's going to be strange to watch a Chargers game with no Philip Rivers starting at quarterback. But obviously, we all know that the freight train of the Kansas City Chiefs is just going to barrel through this division. It's just a matter of like who's going to. The question really is who's going to come in second place in this division. I don't really see much out of the Broncos, Raiders, or Chargers. To be quite honest with you, they're all franchises that are still trying to find their identity, especially with the Chargers, with Philip Rivers having left already. So obviously, Chiefs at number 1. I think I'm going to say Broncos at number 2, just because they're still a pretty well-run organization and they got some decent coaching. I'm going to say Chargers 3 and Raiders 4. I think you know, John Gruden's going to be in for a rude awakening, and that is that, you know, it's one thing to call games on TV and see things from a booth down below, but it's another thing to actually have been in the trenches and going through the trials and tribulations of these guys on your team and being able to sympathize and empathize with their situation and also, you know, be a good teacher to them at the same time. So, I mean, he's been out of the game for a while. He, you know, thought he made some pretty good decisions in terms of drafting, but they didn't really pay out last year. He's had issues with Derek Carr. You know, those trades that he made. I think it was like a couple of years ago when people thought that he should have been named GM of the year because he traded Amari Cooper and turned around the Cowboy offense and traded Khalil Mack. 2 words, baby, Khalil Mack, and changed the Bears' fortunes. So I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It hasn't really panned out to him so far. I mean, they gave him a huge, I think it was like a 10-year deal or something. So he's got some time to like figure it out. But man, like if you don't start showing some kind of resolve and get some wins under your belt, then you know you might be looking at your termination papers, bro. So I'm not. I think the Raiders are going to be poo at 4. They might be competitive, but I just I don't think they have any traction at all. All right, guys. Last but not least is a division that I want to talk about because my New York Football Jets are in it, and that is the AFC East. I'm gonna make this short and sweet because I'm running low on time and memory. So in this one, Pats without Brady, and even Brady didn't really have weapons to speak of last year. And that's what he was begging and pleading for. And it's something that Belichick didn't really want to help him out with because he'd rather just get a lesser quarterback that makes less money and be able to just get average receivers and try to make that work and kind of build around the defense. And they do say defense wins championships, and that is true. So you kind of have to understand where Belichick's coming from in that regard. But it's like at the same time, it's like when you have one of the best quarterbacks that ever played this game, you need to get him guys that can get the football and put up points. So I would certainly do it. I mean, I played Madden enough times to know that if you got a great quarterback, you need at least one, superstar receiver and an above average running back to support the quarterback and allow him time and space. Of course, an offensive line and all this, but to allow the quarterback time to make plays and have playmakers to get the ball to. So I think the Patriots will take a step back. People are saying that this is the Bills' division to lose. I really don't see it that way. It is the Bills after all. Let's not forget they are good at choking things. They are. They might have an awesome record. Going into the playoffs and whatnot, and they might just give it all away. In a couple of games left in the season. So you never know, man. Like 2020 has been such a dumb year so far that you know if it is the Bills' vision to lose, they just may very well do it. It is the Bills after all. Let's not forget. So but who knows? I mean, Bill Belichick is such a genius coach that he might just be able to get the players that he has to play with. I mean, he had a pretty sick defense last year, and that defense, if it's the same defense, they're going to play the same way as last year. That defense should be good for at least 6 wins. Okay, so you got 6 wins under your belt. You got some games against division rivals that can help you out too. You're probably going to beat the Bills at least once. The Dolphins once and the Jets once, maybe. But so that's another 3 wins, and who knows what happens, from there going forward. But I think ultimately, this division is so tough to call. I mean, I want to say the Bills. I want to go with the people that have been picking the Bills and the experts that are saying it's their division to lose and whatnot. But I'm just not sure, man. I'm not sold on the Bills at all. You know, I think Colin Coward had his show on, and he was talking about his Blazing Five picks for the NFL weekend, and he was saying Bills will win, but the score is going to be something like 23-24 or 22-24, something like that. Because Allen, he's not a very good thrower of the football, apparently. His stats didn't show it. I mean, he was last in quarterback stat ratings for efficiency and throwing the football. So, I mean, and Colin's a pretty good football analyst. So if he's not really sold on it, I'm not really sold on it either, man. To be honest with you. So, and the Jets are looking better. Like for starters, I healthy C.J. Mosley is going to be a huge improvement for the defense. Now, okay, Jamal Adams is gone, and he's a premier safety in this league. A perennial All-Pro. I get it. I get all that. But I don't know. Are we saying the same thing about Richard Sherman? Is he one of the best safeties in the world, or is it just because he's getting great help from his corners and safety help over the top? You know what I mean? Revis Island, that was a tough loss for the Jets because that was literally an island. Okay. And that was like a guy that was just on you no matter what. But we don't have a guy like that anymore, and I think that the corner spot has been really hard to fill ever since. But safety, I think we can get some pretty good safety help in drafting or trades in the next couple of years. So I'm not worried about that. But getting back to the task at hand, since I am running a little on time here, it's going to be I want to say probably in the division again. Those or no, sorry, and the Jets they are, but So yeah, I think they're going to be done. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's what I think. And preview. So let's see if it goes the way we predict. Guys, thank you very much. As always, I just want to say to all the people that the show possible and my people. Thank you so much. I love you all. I want to know. So thank you so much to watch this. And as always, all right, guys. Thank you so much for watching and for the next episode.